And my name is Tom Beal, coming to you from my office here in South Florida, in Boca Raton, Florida to be precise. And I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. So if you aren't familiar with who I am, I posted a couple things. Who is Tom Beal and why should I care and or subscribe to his YouTube channel? Well, just to give you a brief background, I was born to teenagers, 17-year-old mother, 19-year-old father, raised around 4 divorces and 6 marriages as a child, went to 9 different schools by 8th grade, knew what it was like to go to bed hungry, was on and off welfare in my childhood. And I'm not saying this to ask for a pity party or ask for any type of sympathy. It's more of the fact that I've been down that path, and I'm very thankful for that. So it's not a competition of who had it worse, but I'm there to share with you that it doesn't matter where you came from or where you are right now. There are steps you can take to get to where you want to be. I'm going to show you my wall of gratitude here in a second, but there was one person in particular that I crossed paths with years and years ago as a teenager. His name was Zig Ziglar, and Zig, through his audio tapes, through watching some videos, and then eventually getting to meet him prior to him passing, shared some things with me that actually allowed me to recognize that the past doesn't have to be the future. I can create my own dreams. I can create and go for my own goals and turn them into a reality. So from that childhood, I fortunately had massive love for my family and my mother, who was 17 when I was born. And my family told me, you know, if I'm passionate about something, there's nothing I can't do. So I had this belief, even though all the adversity and challenges and drama was going on, that if I was clear on what I wanted, I could do it. Now, there came some lessons that I learned that from my childhood. I had a lot of beliefs of not feeling worthy enough, not feeling lovable, not feeling good enough, which I've come to find out are common themes through most every human. We have that. So I had to work through a lot of that inner work to get the outer results. And from that, I was able to become a national bicycle champion years ago as a teenager, what's now called the X Games. I was doing tricks on bikes, bicycle freestyle. Had sponsors, and was, little did I know, leading a tremendous life at that age. Then was also a top wrestler. Also was good in school. Like you know, I did my schoolwork, and even though I went to 9 different schools by 8th grade, I took that seriously. Then I went to college, and what I found is I liked at 17 years old the parties, the women, the beer more than I liked class. So 3 semesters into it, I dropped out of college, and after dropping out of college, I kind of floundered around, really didn't know where to go, what to do next. And next thing you know, my dad had a friend at a place, and I'm working at a factory. The factory was called Ultrafab in Farmington, New York. And I was working the 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift, and was doing a good job. Like, I've always taken it with great pride, anything that I've done. My first job was as a janitor, cleaning toilets, cleaning offices, and I took pride in that. You know, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to give it my best. So while I'm working at Ultrafab, I'm doing my best and working up the ranks, and decided also to get a part-time job at Eastview Mall in Victor, New York, outside of Rochester. And while I'm working there, merry-go-round clothing store, for those who recall that store, a Marine Corps recruiter came by, and he asked a simple question. He said, "Are you happy?" And for those who've known me for a long time, or you're just meeting me, you'll find I'm a very happy person at heart, and I'm always the optimist. Yet at that particular juncture, I said, you know what? Not really. You know, I'm pretty much working and sleeping. And he said, do you like to travel? I said, I love to travel. He said, did you play any sports? I said, well, I wrestled. He's like, how would you like to wrestle for the Marine Corps and travel around the world wrestling? I'm like, of course, sold. Little did I know that was a lot of over-promising and under-delivering, yet the story continues. So I went in and resigned from both jobs, and shortly thereafter was in United States Marine Corps boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina in January of 1993. I kind of felt like Private Benjamin, for those who remember that movie with Goldie Hawn saying, you know, hey, I didn't sign up for this. Little did I know what was in store for me in those 3 months at United States Marine Corps boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. Yet I took my beliefs and just the way that I operate to heart, and if I'm going to be here, I'm going to give it my all. So halfway through the 3 months, I had proven myself to be a leader, was by the drill instructors given the task of being the guide of our platoon, so pretty much the leader of our platoon, and I did that for the remainder of boot camp. And then at the end was chosen as the honor man for my platoon. It was a very rewarding experience. My grandparents were there watching me graduate as the honor man. And when they got there, you know, they were getting bragged to by all these other parents, and then they were approached by someone from the base and said, "Are you Mr. and Mrs. Beal?" They said, "Yes." "Well, the base general would like you to sit next to them. Your grandson has been awarded the honor man." So my grandpa, who was in World War II and was actually at Pearl Harbor, was super proud that he was able to sit next to the base general and watch me graduate as the honor man there. Was meritoriously promoted there, meritoriously promoted at my MOS school, and also meritoriously promoted once again prior to me exiting the Marine Corps. So 3 meritorious promotions in 4 years, and also was presented the MECEP program, Marine Enlisted Commissioning Program. They're going to take me out of enlisted, put me into college, and once graduated from there, go to officer candidate school and come back as an officer. Long story short, at the end of my 4 years, I had made the distinction that I had done what I wanted to do there, and it was time to exit and go see what else was in store for me in the real world. Went back to a community college, Finger Lakes Community College in upstate New York, and received my associate's degree in business administration. And while I was doing that, I got a job working at Geneva Ford, selling Fords. So I was going to college and working as a car salesman at the same time, and then transitioned from being a car salesperson to selling copiers at Eastern Copy Products, and was selling Konica Minolta copiers for years there. And out of the blue, once I got my dream position there, I rose through the ranks, was actually #1 in 5 separate sales organizations. Out of the blue, I get a call from a billion-dollar publishing company, asked me if I wanted to relocate to North Carolina and be the publisher of the North Carolina Homebook, which was basically the resource for anyone looking to build, remodel, or decorate their $1 million plus home in Charlotte, Greensboro, or Raleigh-Durham areas. I asked the obvious question, what does selling copiers have to do with being the publisher of a book? They said, well, if you can sell copiers, you can sell advertising. And that's what it was. We sold the advertising to the $1 million home builders, the architects, the designers, the landscape architects, the furnishings, etc., exterior landscaping, all that fun stuff. And that was in July of '01. I had 4 months to complete that book, and halfway through that, September 11th of '01 occurred. Shortly thereafter, there was an event that I attended that Zig Ziglar was speaking at. I paid to have breakfast with Zig, as did several others, and had some time with Zig, and that was a turning point in my career. He said, you know, those terrorists have put us on our knees, and you know, for a while that's where we need to be, but don't let them win. You as a salesperson must go out and continue to sell, otherwise they win, right? So a lot of us across the world didn't know what to do shortly thereafter. So Zig re-inspired me to, you know, tie my shoes back up and get back out there and get back to business. And that's what I did. So we completed the home book. And then from there, a couple things happened. I went back to selling copiers, went back to being a general manager, or a sales manager actually, back at the old Eastern Copy Products. And then from there decided to be an entrepreneur. And once I did that, I had been playing around with the online world and started attending a few live events and made a few acquaintances, and then helped a few acquaintances out in 2005. And then 2006 was fortunate enough to team up with one of my best friends to this date, the one and only Mike Filsame. And Mike Filsame and I were teamed up from 2006 to 2011, touched thousands and thousands of lives throughout the world positively, helped people totally transform their results, their futures, and their families' results as well. And then came down here to South Florida to work with another one of my heroes, Rich Schefren, and became president of Strategic Profits, and once again continued to positively impact many people's lives throughout the world, spoken on stages in front of thousands of people, and have produced products that have touched people's results and lives throughout the world. And from there, decided to once again step out on my own and follow a path that I felt could take my messages to the next level. And that's what I do now. I'm currently known as the Simplifier, one of my nicknames. And I help people simplify the journey. I found many people overcomplicate success. And I've learned on my journey there are ways to simply get from where you are to where you want to be, personally and professionally. And that's what I share here on the YouTube channel. So that's who I am. Why should you care, and why should you subscribe here? Well, not only do I share the insights that I have gleaned through my years of exploring the world and seeking and working with some of the best known authors, speakers, and thought leaders of our current times, many of them no longer even here. But I also bring many of my friends to your awareness. And so here is my wall of gratitude. And obviously my family, my amazing fiance, my grandpa, who is no longer around, picture of my dad, who's no longer around. He passed away at 56. My mother passed away at 52. Body transformation. I help you transform your health. Working with the author of the 12-week year. Tone Loc and Flavor Flav hanging out at a fun party a friend hosted. There's Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, Jay Abraham, Joe Vitale, Rich Schefren, Mike Filsame. Just saw him in concert again. We had a great friend who had hosted a little private concert, Brett Michaels, and me and another friend just saw him last Sunday. Last Sunday we saw him. Jeff Walker, Mike Filsame, Michelle, Brian Tracy, Joe Sugarman, Tony Robbins, you name it. Jim Rohn, prior to him passing, Jim Kelly, NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, Jeffrey Gitomer, Don Lepre, John Asseroff, Mark Victor Hansen, Mark Ford, you name it. Joel Tyrion, Brendan Burchard, Russell Brunson. These are all friends and amazing, amazing people. So this is the journey. Tim Ferriss, you may recognize many of these other people, but the bottom line is you become the average of the 5 people you hang around with most. I bring to the table not just my marketing friends, but you'll see some people you recognize here as well. Vanilla Ice, Vince Taylor, Mr. Olympia, Coolio, Mini-Me, Mind Freak. I always draw a blank on his name. Saw him twice. He's popular movie star as well. Pauly Shore and Suge Knight. Interesting. Terrence Howard, that's his name, Terrence Howard. And more fun, more adventures. It all continues. So the bottom line is you can get from where you are to where you want to be, and through information that I'm able to share with you, plus the friends that I bring along to your awareness, it can transform your journey, personally and professionally. And how I do that is through numerous videos, but I also do it through an app that I created. So let me go back to the camera here. So if you go to thesimplifier.com and register, you will gain access to the app. And inside the app, I have a lot of interviews with some of those well-known names that you just saw. And some of them I post here on YouTube, but many of them are inside of the app. And it's an iOS and Android app. All you need to do is simply register for free at thesimplifier.com. And when you do that, you will begin accessing all of this transformative information. So stay tuned for more videos here on YouTube. Stay tuned for more information, more valuable insights on and inside the app, The Simplifier. So go to thesimplifier.com, register there, subscribe here on YouTube, and stay tuned to take your life from where you are to where you want to be. Look forward to the journey, and until our paths cross again, make today great.